This is the ssangying Tivoli, a compact crossover with an extremely affordable price tag from a brand you might not be familiar with.
Ssangying is a Korean brand that specialises in 4x4s, but it's now trying to muscle in on the trendier side of the market. They've got a lot of tough competition in this area from the likes of the Renault Kadjar, Nissan Qashqai or Citroën C4 Cactus. So how does it compare?
You'll see that despite the raised ride height, it's easy to get into. These doors open nice and wide. And when I do hop inside, wow, you've got bags of space in here. You'd carry 5 adults in this, absolutely no problems at all. There's no irritating transmission tunnel down there taking away from your legroom. And I've set the driver's seat for a 6-footer, and look how much legroom I've got. There's also loads of headroom. Good size storage in the doors, room for my mammoth cup of tea. And these little things on the back of the seats. Quite sure how useful they'd be though.
Storage in the armrest and a nice big glove box with an extra storage shelf, so there are lots of handy spaces to store bits and pieces.
Now, traditionally ssangying doesn't have a reputation for, shall we say, shining interiors. So getting in here is actually quite a pleasant surprise. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's stylish, and it's definitely a bit too busy for my liking, but in terms of look, well, I think it matches up to many of its rivals. It's really only let down by the quality of some of the materials. Hard plastics. Doesn't sound very nice. What it has got that I like is this 7-inch screen that's in this central stack here. It's even got an HDMI cable so you can play videos through it, although it is only available on the higher spec models. But even if you go for the entry-level model, the spec that you get is pretty good.
As standard, you get Bluetooth connectivity, cruise control, 7 airbags and 16-inch alloy wheels. But if you opt for the mid-range EX model, you add dual-zone climate control, the 7-inch touchscreen and a reversing camera. Here we've got the top spec ELX though, which gets rain-sensing wipers, all-round parking sensors, keyless entry and TomTom sat-nav.
Now the Tivoli may look compact on the outside, but as you've seen, it has stacks of space inside, and that's carried on here at the boot. ssangying say that you can fit 3 sets of golf clubs in there. You know what? I believe them. In terms of volume, well, it has more space than both the Peugeot 2008 and the Nissan Juke, although the Renault Kadjar does have slightly more. The Tivoli gets ssangying's smart steer system fitted as standard. Now this offers a choice of normal, comfort and sport settings from the electric power steering, but unfortunately when you're behind the wheel the difference really isn't that noticeable. As standard you'll also get this 6-speed manual gearbox like the one I've got here, although you can opt for the automatic, which incidentally is out of the Mini Countryman.
Power comes from 2 1.6 litre units, 1 petrol and 1 diesel. The petrol produces 126 brake horsepower while the diesel just 113. But the good news is that the diesel will manage 66 miles to the gallon on a combined cycle. The petrol isn't quite as impressive at 39 miles to the gallon.
Now one of the big selling points for the Tivoli is that you can actually take it off-road, which is actually becoming quite unusual in the crossover market. Many manufacturers have made the decision not to even offer 4-wheel drive versions because most buyers don't actually go off-road on a regular basis at all.
It also gets a diff lock which splits power 50-50 to the front and rear axles, so you can venture further off-road than its similarly sized rivals. However, adding this does mean that the efficiency gets worse.
Another problem that you'll really only find with the 4-wheel drive version is that the car never actually feels that settled. The suspension does soak up the bigger lumps and bumps in the road, but even on smooth roads there just seems to be a constant background jiggling as the car moves and skitters about the road surface. The only thing that really hints at the Tivoli's bargain price is the quality of some of the materials, and the other letdown is the fuel economy. But if you're after an affordable car that can cope with everything that family life throws at it, then this could well fit the bill.
If you want a small crossover with a bit more practicality, take a look at the Renault Kadjar. If cheap running costs are a must, then check out our review of the Citroën C4 Cactus.